let's find out, ladies and gentlemen. This is game number 11 of Weekly Survival. The last match for today. The winner chicken dinner team will make it straight through to the weekly finals, but who is it going to be? Joining us for the 6th time, please give a very warm welcome to Matt and Cameron.
One last game on the day of PGC 2021, brought to you by Alienware and Toomey, and we've got a pretty north to south plane path to start everything off.
Yeah, looking pretty good, pretty even, a nice, fine plane path to finish the day out to find out who is going to be the 11th team making their way into the weekly final. I hope this is another exciting match because, I mean, we've got to end it off with a bang somehow, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the desk is right. Everybody that's here right now wants to qualify for this one so that way they have to move into tomorrow. That said, there's this weird situation that brews. Like, exactly like the desk said, you start having like this higher level of anxiety because you know you need to qualify, and there's only 5 games in tomorrow, so those last 5 games, you know you have to do it. But at the same time, technically the lobby should be getting weaker, providing you more opportunities to step up and find some level of success. That's kind of the mindset behind how this is all supposed to work at the end of the day. So everybody is definitely caught up in wanting to be done here, so that way they can just start prepping for the weekend, because after this it's all going to be about trying to gather that information we were talking about in last round, how important it is. And I see what you're trying to do there, Doctor, but he's already inside the vehicle, so Code Marco, we're just going to go ahead and get away with that.
Yeah, again, fighting for vehicles around this middle section. We've seen a little bit back and forth. I believe BBL actually got a roadkill onto the end. Aaron Go, but we see the first circle come into play. Spots something out. Back here on the fight between Kaishin and FaZe.
All right, FaZe. Got goals continuing on their pathing. Already assuming where the other one's going to come through. Quick juke around coming out from Fex. Window jukes as well going to pop off. So that's going to be a firm capabilities for push. But Buzzface does go down. Numbers advantage still favoring FaZe Clan, but it's going to be a very difficult building to push through. See, Ewan already been flushed out. They did get the res on the other side of it. Cobra's been gotta be a little bit careful. Grenades now landed. Gustav takes a lot. Peeks around the wrong side. That's gonna go down. And now it is just 2 members of FaZe having to surround through this. And I think they might have found an opportunity. Res on the other side as Kaishin's trying to stabilize, but it is now a firm 2v2 for a hard push and difficult compound to take.
That's the problem with these fights. 1-for-1 trade still. Now it's onto a solo play, and it's gonna be HC clutching it up for FaZe, and is able to get the revive on Gustav. But that's the problem, as I'm saying, with these aggressive engagements, that if FaZe would be able to win that fight, all 4 still remaining, they'd be in a solid position to then jockey that into a position in the circle. But now they're down to 2, and making that work in this format is going to be difficult for them.
Not like this space station. You either kill people in cars or you get killed in cars.
How is
it's
it
a double-edged
with
sword?
1 HP? He got hit by a full moving UAZ.
I don't even know what's going on. Space Station Gaming does manage to hold it together and eliminate ints, but I mean, look at that mini-map. There are just crossfire going everywhere, minimal things to work around. Heroic coming back down, realizing the fact that they can go ahead and take down Mad. They're going to do so quite efficiently, I might add at that.
Took a while for this fight to fully finish, but yes, Heroic were able to destroy Mad, didn't lose a single player, and even though they're on the edge, the high ground sightlines that this could give them over this, as you mentioned, lack of cover part of the map, could see them having a strong game. And this is their first game, I think, or one of the first games that they're having. They haven't been playing that very low on the leaderboard. No, this is their second game, very low in ranked decision. So if they can find their way into the weekly finals like that quickly, it'd be very good turnaround for them.
Interesting shit. Keeping in what used to be called the Yellows, just south of Ruins. A little bit of Ruins as well. And that hillside, Burrow, I'm feeling kind of okay, but you can see all these guys to the west now in trouble. Space Station sits down in this position. Heroic is just kind of strolling around with everything that's going on. They know that they have a high ground advantage point, and they are just abusing it on every single team around them. So with this, they should be able to get a little bit more vision and control on what's happening, and shouldn't have too long of a rotation, as well as they've already kind of fought their way across into the east and have pretty decent idea of the lay of the land. The other members, though, are kind of the ones that are going through. I mean, like, look at Beanie. He's just rolling down through this open area. That's the level of confidence they have in the control of the territory.
Well, it's also they know that they need to take care of these last few stragglers before they can wrap onto New Happy, which is probably going to be their game plan in order to get to Ruins. So they're going very aggressive. They know that there's not much of a threat of other people third-partying unless they want to look all the way down to the south side of GEX. But here, Petrichor Road trying to make their way into the circle, taking a fair bit of damage themselves. Na'Vi the one delivering that damage. Rusev finally gets taken out. And yeah,
Well, I mean,
more cars
Navi's
are
on
being
the other side
delivered.
of this. The other side of this hillside, just doing the exact same thing that Heroic is, and that means that everybody that's driving through this is just in a crossfire. You can see Petrichor trying to find some angle. Navi's going to go ahead and take the shots into him and kind of force them away from it. Looks like GEX is thinking the fact that they might be able to pick up a kill inside of it. mxey does survive, just narrowly, but not too comfy, all things considered. And jumps out of the bug. He takes a tap of love from himself. Petrichor Road still just trying to make sure that they get whatever use they can out of this tree. But keep in mind, they're not even comfortably inside the safe zone yet. KPI gets vision of what's happening, but going to be back behind them is going to be where we're going to see Heroic making their push in just a little while. Na'Vi getting a little bit more controlled off of this. Feels like they might be able to make the play. Just go ahead and shift into the north and get a little bit more comfortable. Heroic, though, is kind of still that big moving gear. They're the cog that's kind of spinning everything that's happening into the west and the north.
When they peek onto Heroic, even the when Heroic peek onto KPI, even though KPI are be the ones in the defensive position, Heroic are the ones who have the timings on the peak, and they basically know what they're going to be looking for. But DraftKings senses something from around that corner, going to place another smoke at that area. Grenades come out from Page at the same time, and it's going to land on an Emmy. This makes this a 4 versus 3. Heroic going to continue to push to this advantage.
I mean, Heroic is just walking through teams. Walking in the open, just no fear. I mean, there's a little bit of assistance coming on the other side of this from GEX, but Heroic is just in control of every single fight that they're coming into right now, and the confidence, I feel it coming off of them just watching how they're playing right now.
This is a totally different Heroic. They already have so many different kills. They're playing confidently, as you just mentioned. Like, if this is like an entirely new looking team, and if they can secure a win off of this, I am going to be very interested to see how they can perform this weekend. Or even if we have to wait to see them like get the win tomorrow, either way, this is a very frightening team to be put in a lobby with right now. Revives coming through from both KPI and Heroic, but I think Burram want to get involved in this engagement. At least they're looking to see if they can't find a kill of opportunity.
We've got Burram to the north, so we're going to see how Heroic opts into leading this. No surprise, they're leaning into the KPI side. They've been doing a good job and putting in work on there. Sill's in the last one up, and got to be careful. He might be sizzling in just a second as that Molotov is starting to creep towards him. See if maybe he can get the spray into it. Does get one down. Gets a second one as well, and inflicts some casualties on Heroic, who has just been absolutely vibing on the west. They should have the time to write this one up, but the big question is going to come, how's Na'Vi going to respond?
Yeah.
Na'Vi actually has an angle on everything that's happening here.
Yeah, that's the problem. They have the timing with the circle and everything to get the revives, but they don't have the safety in order to do so. Fortunately, I think Na'Vi are their own rotation woes of their own, having ascended in under the GEX, or at least ex-GEX position, but this still means they could put pressure back onto Heroic. That's T-Bone going down, so the vibing team not vibing any longer.
I mean, to make the plays that they did with such minimal cover, and Na'Vi, they've got to be careful. Team Liquid's coming out of the yellows and got vision on what's going on. Melman trying to step away from all of the throwables coming his direction. This might buy a moment for Heroic as well, so that way they can try to stabilize with what's going on. Team Liquid picking on the targets that are close to him, but really have about a quarter of the circle under their control at the time, forcing everybody to kind of mix amongst themselves. Heroic does manage to stabilize quite a bit, and now it's Na'Vi that's in trouble.
mxey, we're gonna need to upset Na'Vi's position, but no, Sample, his shots are just better. Grexy goes down. It's all on the Beamy. About 10 HP remaining. No opportunity for the revive.
Okay, Beamy just hiding out here. Burram to the north, all by your lonesome, and here come a couple of throwables, but you've got a rock, you've got a tree, you might have a little bit of time to work with, and keep in mind, the entirety of the time that Na'Vi is having to contend with this, Team Liquid has just decided this isn't worth our effort, and instead is now starting to look in the northern direction. We did have a firefight that happened up there where New Happy won it, and now we could see those teams starting to bounce into each other, depending on how this next circle goes, because we're only at circle 6 right now, Cam. This has been such a violent game already.
Yeah, again, you mentioned it earlier on, it's because of how open, I believe it was like phase 4 or phase 5 was. forcing all these teams to have no choice but to fight. Speaking of no choice, Beamy, I don't think he has really any choice here. None of those vehicles are even drivable at this point. So he's going to try and just hold out for as long as he can, praying that Buriram or Liquid try and deal with Na'Vi, but no, that's going to be it for him. 4 teams remaining. And Liquid with 4, Na'Vi with 3, New Happy with 3. There's a lot still left to be decided here. For Na'Vi first before Buriram go out. Same thing with New Happy. But this widespread, this box position that Liquid have is giving them a lot of sightlines to try and deal damage to basically everyone in this circle.
Buriram in some trouble. They've managed to make it in the zone, but that's about the most that they've been able to gather. Grenade's going to start rolling in. Edie does make it over to Canaxi, but this is going to be, let's be real, a very brazen in-your-face, I don't care that you know that I'm doing this res, and it looks like he might get it. So with this now restabilizing, it just blows my mind sometimes to see Buriram just do what they do and get away with it repeatedly, but this might be the end of Buriram right here, trying to prep it up.
I don't know.
They're all leaned away from Na'Vi. Here comes the roll in right in the pocket. There we go. Non picks it up. New Happy getting control over the north. Team Liquid and Na'Vi to the south.
Yeah, good flex out to the west side from New Happy. Like I said, once the backfill from Liquid through Ruins was no longer an option, they can now spread themselves out and try and keep Liquid and Na'Vi pinned over towards the south. Make them fight each other out, and they can pick up the scraps to deploy. This might look like another smoke-heavy finish. Good grenade comes out. It's actually really good, just a bit too far north. But still, the damage is going to slow Na'Vi down just the moment the spray comes through. mxey finds the first knock onto example.
There we go, but it's not quite enough due to the smokes. He doesn't have vision on exactly what's going to be going on. Na'Vi, though, knows they're in trouble. That next grenade lands close enough to clinch his butt right now. He has to be very, very careful. Delman having to dance along the blue. Not very many options to work with, but you can see Team Liquid committing resources now into the center, expecting New Happy to be making their play, but they haven't been able to take out Na'Vi just quite yet. New Happy counterflanking around it, so it's going to be Na'Vi in the thick between the two, hiding inside the smokes. Melman just playing along it. He can hear the footsteps, but he is so close to Team Liquid's positioning. He could be the thorn in their side. No, he goes down. He gets spotted. Now it's going to be New Happy trying to find the angle to work with. They do get one of the members down. It's going to be Evie going down the side of it. It does not matter. Team Liquid come away with it in the end.
4 kills, the only 4 that they needed. Melman getting spotted out in that smoke was huge, though, because if Liquid got distracted by the New Happy fight, and Melman was still just behind them to tear them apart, this could have easily gone wrong. But even for New Happy's point of view, like, such a great game played out by them, such a solid end game played out by Na'Vi. Honestly, I wish all 3 of these teams could have gone through, because that end game was really well done.
I mean, it was so masterfully played by all of them. Na'Vi tried their hardest, but big shout out to Team Liquid, aware of everything that was going on around them. I know that there's a ton of fans that are going to be happy, and maybe a couple of fans on the analyst desk. What did you guys got for us?